Hello, and welcome to another first impression video. I'm Drew Wilson from FreezeNet. Today we're going to be playing the 2013 PlayStation 3 game, Gran Turismo 6. This is the second major installment of this series on the PlayStation 3. So, I've got 10 minutes on the clock. Let's give this game a try. So, I wanted to point out right off the bat that I had a heck of a time trying to install this thing, and this was like years after apparently a whole bunch of other issues cropped up, and supposedly it was fixed. And I'll go over that a little bit more, but that was the first thing I encountered was trying to install this thing is still a pain. But yeah, it was not the most pleasant experience. So I wanted to at least point out that part first because it would explain why I'm this far ahead into the game already, because there was like a test race and I wanted to make sure the game was playing properly. And so that's why I'm this far ahead, because after the test you get this you'll get this screen and you buy a very specific car, and so with the 20 credits that you get, and it is the Fit RS10. So after that, you'll get this screen, and it seems like each car has performance point rating, which gives an idea of overall capabilities. And I thought that was a very interesting addition. It wasn't in Gran Turismo 5 and any game that I know of previously that I can recall. So I thought, hey, that is actually an interesting addition to this. So yeah, that was observation so far. And one thing I noticed is that this game also kind of has a guided system, because the UI is still a little bit cluttered, but it's seemingly much more guided. Like, it doesn't just give you everything and then just assume that you'll just learn it on your own kind of thing. Because if you're used to Gran Turismo, then yeah, it's you can kind of get used to it. But if you're brand new, I can see it being overwhelming if you've never encountered something like that before. Some races will require certain numbers of performance points for entry, so it's something you'll need to keep an eye on. Okay. And I know previous games had horsepower requirements as well, so I wonder if that's still a thing or if it's just all about performance points. Dealers offers a huge range of cars. Find the dealerships in my home. So yeah, a lot of features from other Gran Turismo games are returning here. By selecting random cars, you'll see cars based on career mode class levels are listed by specific rating categories. Okay. I wonder if that means that you get an event, then it just shows you the list of cars that qualify, and you can choose from there. That would be nice. Hope I interpreted that correctly. It's now time to get down to business in your first race. Go to novice class, career mode, and select Sunday Cup. And for those of you who have seen my Gran Turismo 5 first impression video, I did note that this is a very classic first race for you to play, and it's all like, just getting used to the game a little bit, and it's always been it's always been a very classic part of this series for sure. And I believe that's Autumn Ring Mini. So I think that was part of the Sunday Cup previously. High Speed Ring, I don't think it was in Gran Turismo 5. I think it was in a previous game that they had the High Speed Ring. Yeah, but that is in fact a very good track, because it just has a few simple turns. A race aimed at novice drivers who just bought their first car. Test your skills in the entry cup. So, okay. I'm assuming sign up. Sunday Cup Race 1. A fairly lengthy intro. I wonder if that hides a loading screen. That's a very classic developer type of trick, is that you have intros or something like that, and it just hides the fact that the game is loading the track. B-spec option. This was B-spec was introduced in Gran Turismo 5, where you basically had what is known as B-spec Bob, and instead of actually racing, you're just directing the other player and just kind of telling them, okay, go faster, go slower, that sort of thing. So that obviously made a return to this game. So yeah, one of the criticisms one of my my old editor had was that Gran Turismo is a series where if you played one, you played them all, and that was my fault. I'm used to. I guess I accidentally thought it was R2. Yeah, off to a fantastic start. There was a delay between my testing and actually recording this video, so that's why I forgot already. Some racing games have an R2 button for acceleration, and sometimes it is just the cross button. In this game, it is the cross button. So, yeah. I'm a little off the line, but that's okay. I'm a little bit rusty again. So 4 seconds off the lead, not a big deal. And the blue line is supposed to be the ideal line to take. I'm trying to get back into using that because it's a lot of these racing games is like a fine touch, especially like simulation style racing. But yeah, it's a okay. Let's overtake. Pretty sure this game also has drafting. So essentially, if you or not, drafting is also a term. It's also known as slipstreaming. Essentially, what you're doing is you're driving behind another car, and in real life, there is such thing as wind resistance when you're driving. So that's why cars these days have a hard time trying to go faster. It's because they're fighting against wind resistance. So a monstrous amount of horsepower will only, these days, monstrous amount of horsepower more will only yield just a slightly faster speed. So what slipstreaming does is that it more or less solves that problem temporarily. You basically drive behind another car and it blocks that wind from hitting you, so you have less resistance. Oh, don't crash into the other car. Okay. Narrowly avoid that. And because you don't no longer have that wind resistance, then you will be able to drive faster and be able to more easily overtake vehicles afterwards. Of course, avoiding the other car is important, but that's about it. So that, I believe, is a feature in this game as well. So you'll be able to drive a little bit faster when you drive behind the other car. But enough about slipstreaming. Okay. So because this is a simulation, this is like you have to kind of keep in mind your entry, and yeah, I've been doing not the greatest job in the world for that. But keeping in mind how you enter turns, how you slow down, your exit speed, that sort of thing. Things you got to keep in mind. So, 2 laps. And towards the end of that race, there was also a bit of defending the position. Don't necessarily have to worry too much about that. Exit. That was one thing I did find a little bit annoying, is how much it pushes instant replays on you. So, complete and third plus first. You're in 3 stars. Cool. Congratulations on finishing your first race, and you managed to win your first attempt. Which is good, all things considered. You've shown some major potential as a top-notch driver. In career mode race events, you'll earn stars and credits based on your performance. Stars, I think, is new. Credits, nothing new. Now get out there and try to clear all novice class events. It's time to go to the next race. Please exit menu. One thing I definitely noticed is that in the previous game, and I didn't show it, but I did talk about it, was the fact that this game also, these games tend to have all these like licenses. So you basically test how you start and stop and that sort of thing. You can start menu. Can you see this start menu at the top right? This menu allows you to change your car and driving and adjust various options. Control buttons, orange windshield wipers. So yeah, with some options here. So that is Autumn Ring. But yeah, you have different licenses, so you can unlock stuff. You could do like the Sunday Cup. There was not much else you could do beyond that until you unlock the licenses. And the times and the ability to unlock some of those licenses were really tight. So you really had to know what you were doing eventually when you get those licenses, when you're trying to go for those higher end licenses. But this game kind of gets you to get into the racing, which I like to see. That was that's a good slight tweak in the system for sure. I think the licenses are still there, but it's not pushed. But anyway, believe it or not, that is it for this game. And I'm just curious what you thought about this game. If you've played this game before, was it were you familiar with the rest of the series? Was it a good entry into the series? Was it you know, a same old, or did it tweak things in an interesting way? Let us know in the comments below. And if this was your first Gran Turismo game, what did you think of it? Was the learning curve good for you? Did it take you a bit of getting used to before you could kind of take off and do great things in the game? And what was the overall game experience like for you? I wanted to hear from you about that. And for those of you who haven't played this game yet, is this a game series you're familiar with, but just not this particular game? Was it an interesting insight into this game? Do you think this is just another game, or does it have bold new ideas that might be of interest to you? Let us know. And if you've never played the Gran Turismo series before, also let us know. Was this an interesting video? Does this make you want to try this game out, or is it just intimidating? The idea of racing is not your thing, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just intimidating overall. You don't want to get into the physics of the game itself, Yeah, let us know in the comments below as well what your thoughts are on that. So, if you want to support this channel, there's actually a lot of ways you can do that these days. And first and most obvious thing is dropping us a like, and it lets us know, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And it really helps our video production efforts as well. And another way you can support us is through subscribing. If you subscribe and turn on notifications, you can get those cool real-time updates. It's the fastest way without paying to know what videos we're uploading and what games we're playing. So that's a great way to do it. And you don't necessarily have to turn on notifications either. If you have other things you want to get done, a subscription still helps us out tremendously. So every subscription, we really do appreciate it. And thanks to the 10 subscribers who are with us still. So I really do appreciate that support. And another way you can support us is just checking out our website. Everything on there is free. It's freezenet.ca. And through that, you can check out all the latest in news and video game reviews and music reviews. Excuse me. And we even have a full-fledged wiki, so you can actually check out cool new videos or cool new music you may not otherwise heard of. But another way you can support us, if you want to more directly support us, patreon.com/freezenet, and you can get all the cool insider information, early access to content, and a whole lot more. And if Patreon isn't your thing, you want to support us in another way, there's also coffee.com/freezenet. You can do a one-time donation there as well. And we'll make sure all the money goes to all Freezenet operations, the website, the podcast, and of course, these videos. So every dollar counts, and we really appreciate all the support you guys given us all these years, and hopefully you'll help us out even more this year. Anyway, I guess that is all for now, and until next time, keep it cool.